Hello, and welcome to the second video on how to import data efficiently into R. Previously, we have looked into data imported via clicking, for example, Excel or R files. Now we look into a data type where you cannot import simply by clicking. It will probably fail. You can try it. It's the CSV file, comma separate value file, probably the most important file in any kind of data analysis. In this case, you will have to use some code, which is what we're going to do. So our goal is to import this data set down here, CSV, corporate tax, into our environment over here that we can work with it. First step to do is install that package. So you just type that in, install packages data table, and then you can Control Enter. I won't do it, I've already done it. So next step is to make it able to work. Therefore we press library. Library data table. Control Enter again, and now we're able to work with it. So there's one comment which enables you to import this data set. It's called fread. fread. You can look into the R documentation for specifications of that command, but we will just use it for importing data. So fread, then our data file, which is called CSV, Gewerbesteuer 2015.csv. And with that, we will be able to import the data, give it a name, so we find it again. csv.set, for instance. You do the arrow, and then you can do Control Enter. You wait a second, and now we see, yes, it's imported, but you see some warning messages, which basically say, okay, we have deleted some columns due to missing values. In this case, it's okay, but usually you always have to look at the warning messages. In this case, we can accept it. Yeah, we can just click on it. You see it hits the view command. You can also do that by yourself. And yeah, what do we see? We see here there's some names, Germany, Deutschland, and some titles. Yeah, looks okay, but the problem is usually you would expect those titles up here, but they're like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lines below usually. So you have the problem of a shift towards 5 downwards. And there's another problem. You see that right away. It's for example, this thing, it would be a number, but it's called character type, so like names. Character type is also here. It's okay because it's names, but here it should be numbers again. It's not okay. So we have similar problems as in the last video. But in this case, we cannot just select via clicking or by specifying. We would need to code something in order to specify our data. So we have set this command. We can use some arguments in order to specify it more. For example, we said we have to skip 5 rows in order to have this one row on the top. Remember, we wanted to have those things in the title, not these weird V things. So we would just specify skip equals 5. This is the first thing. And then we would say we also want it as a header, so that those top things are our header. True. We can specify that, and with this command, it's still the same warnings, but no problem. With this command, now we have those things as our title. Well, looks better. First problem is kind of solved. You see these €1,000 things, not very beautiful, but we will take care of that in a sec. But those things are title. But we still have character types in numeric variables. We don't want to have that. In order to get rid of them, we do a simple trick. We will split up the data set into 2, like into those parts which shall be numeric, which is like the first column. This shall remain character. And I think the rest has all to be numeric. So we just split the data set into 2 halves, and we just import it right again. Some kind of weird trick, but sometimes to get around those problems you have to use weird tricks. So in the first step, we would just want to import those parts of the data set which are set to be numeric. We call them csv.setNumeric. And again, we do the fread command, and we say the same thing as above. And now we do the same commands again. You can also just do T, it's okay. And now we can just press enter. We have the same warning messages again, but you already see down here there's another data set which has one fewer variable. So the name is not taken in. But that's no problem. We can also import it separately, which is imported by, for example, calling it csv.setName. And then we just select the second column. All right, there was some error in that. Sorry for the cut. Now it works, and we have it imported again. Make sure to always type the data name correct. I failed sometimes. Just do some trial and error, and then you will get the right name of this data file. So yeah, now we have imported two separate data frames depending on the type of data we want to have. We will merge them in a second. But you see here, this one variable has to stay character type, and those want to be numeric. So we're just going to turn them into a numeric type, and this works with our command as numeric. So we give it a new name, csv set num again, and then we use some tool called sapply, which enables us to apply a command over a list of different values. So we want to apply the command as numeric upon all those values in the csv set num data set. So we just say sapply, then csv set num, and then as numeric. All right, and then this is going to be turned into numeric. Yeah, there's also some warnings, but we can just control it if it's okay. Yeah, looks pretty good. Now it's everything numeric, and you can also see this euro thing is disabled because it's a character. It won't be displayed, no chance. And yeah, now our next step would be to reunite it with the name dataset, because it's one data frame. We just imported it separately. Now we want to put it together again. This works with the cbind command, so it binds the columns together. We call it csv set, and then we do cbind. csv dot set name is the first, and the second one is our numeric data set, csv set numeric down here. And if we just put them together, then we have our csv set. 15 variables again. We have the name of this of the place where the text is taken, and we have all those numeric values, and this is still character. Great thing. So yeah, there's some other cleaning exercises which we can maybe do. For instance, we could skip the first row. As I've mentioned, it's just an ace, it's useless. So we can say csv set, our data set, give it the name, the same name, and then we say it's the same as csv set, but without the first row. Row is always before the comma. After the comma would be columns, but we don't want to work with columns, that's why we leave it open. All right, now let's have a look at our new data set. Oh yeah, so as you see, the NAs are disappeared, and yeah, there's still stuff to do. We can put up names here. But so far so good. This is how you easily import CSV datasets and do first work on it, like transform the data type and take away useless rows. Thank you for watching the second video on how to import data. In the next video, we look at simple web data, how to directly import it into R. Make sure to click on the next video.